War, it's not just a clash of armies. It's a clash of civilizations, a clash of egos, and a clash of religions. And less easy to get lost in the chaos, unless we bring order to the madness. Today we unravel the Iran-Israel war, its roots, its players, and why it matters to you. Whether you live here or thousands of miles away. First up, we'll look at how we got here. Then we'll talk about who's fighting whom. Next, we'll focus on the US role. And finally, we'll ask, can peace still be salvaged? Stick around. This is one story that will change the world. The 21st century is nearly its first quarter's end, and once again, the world's attention is locked on the Middle East. Everyone is asking the same question. Has Iran really entered a war with Israel? The answer now seems dangerously close to yes. Missile strikes, assassinations, nuclear warnings, and open threats are turning into direct military engagements. But this war didn't just erupt overnight. It's the result of decades of tension, proxy conflicts, and strategic showdowns. Let's trace this path back to its roots. The animosity between Israel and Iran dates back to the 1979 Iranian Islamic Revolution. During the Shah's regime, Israel-Iran relations were relatively normal. But once the clerics took power, the stance changed dramatically. Ayatollah Khomeini proclaimed, and I quote, "Israel must be wiped off the map." That became Iran's official position. For years, Iran has called Israel the Zionist regime, while Israel has labeled Iran as a state sponsor of terrorism. Why does Iran see Israel as a threat? Because Israel's military superiority and Western backing limit Iran's regional ambitions. And because claiming leadership over the Palestinian cause strengthens Iran's image in the Muslim world. But calling for Israel's elimination wasn't enough. Iran wanted results, so they fought not directly, but through proxies. Enter the proxy wars. Iran found allies in trouble spots across the region. Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Syria, Hamas in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen. All supported, funded, and armed by Iran. Israel, in turn, launched repeated airstrikes on these groups. Each year, hundreds of Iranian targets in Syria are hit. Weapons convoys in Lebanon are routinely bombed. Why fight through proxies instead of directly? Because direct war would be too costly. But this balance is starting to fall apart. Then came the spark. On October 7th, 2024, Hamas launched a massive surprise attack on Israel, killing over 1,200 people. Israel's retaliation on Gaza was devastating. Thousands dead, cities flattened. Israel claimed Iran was directly involved. Mossad's intelligence reportedly showed Iran helped plan the operation. Why does Iran support Hamas? Because Hamas gives Iran a way to hit Israel from within its most vulnerable point, Gaza. It's a strategic tool to weaken Israeli internal security. Now let's talk about America. Why does the US always back Israel? Because Israel is America's key stronghold in the region. Controls trade routes, stabilizes Western interests, and supports the US military-industrial complex. Also, the pro-Israel lobby in US politics is enormously influential. After Hamas attacked, 2 aircraft carriers were sent to the eastern Mediterranean. Missile defense systems like THAAD and Patriot were deployed. Finally, in March 2025, Israel bombed an Iranian consulate in Syria. It was a tipping point. Iran responded directly for the first time. Drones, ballistic missiles, and electronic warfare systems hit Israeli positions. Soon after, Israel struck Iran's nuclear site in Isfahan. It was practically a declaration of war. So who's fighting whom? On one side is Israel with its allies, mainly the United States. On the other is Iran, backed by Turkey, Russia, China, and some Gulf states. This isn't just a war of soldiers and tanks. It's a war of data, drones, satellites, and cyber attacks. Israel has some advantages. It's unveiling advanced American satellites to track Iranian forces. Its Iron Dome and Arrow 3 systems intercept Iranian missiles. Israel also has elite cyber arms units ready to strike Iranian infrastructure. Then there's the human element. Israel has one of the most technologically advanced militaries in the world, with a compulsory military service for citizens. They also have powerful allies like the United States, which provides military aid and intelligence sharing. On the other side, Iran benefits from sheer numbers. They have the largest standing army in the region, with over 600,000 active personnel. Also, Iranians are fighting on multiple fronts, from Gaza to Lebanon to to Syria, to Yemen. They're battle-hardened and experienced. Iran also has dangerous weapons. They enrich uranium to 60% purity, just steps from weapons grade. They also have missiles capable of striking any Israeli city with ranges over 2,000 kilometers. And don't forget the proxies. Hezbollah alone has over 40,000 trained fighters armed with anti-tank missiles and attack drones. Despite the odds, Israel is holding on. Prime Minister Netanyahu vowed, and I quote, "We won't allow Iran to set foot in Syria." Meanwhile, Iran is exploiting its size and manpower to keep pushing. So what's at stake here? First, there's energy. Iran has threatened to block the Strait of Hormuz, where 30% of global oil flows. Western markets panicked. Oil prices spiked. At the same time, Iranian-backed Houthi rebels attacked trade ships in the Red Sea. Global trade is feeling the pinch. Next, there's the political struggle for dominance in the region. Both sides want to be the leading power in the Middle East. Israel wants to maintain its edge, while Iran seeks influence and control. Then there's the nuclear question. Will Iran develop the bomb? If so, it could trigger an arms race in the region, with Saudi Arabia and others also wanting nuclear weapons. And lastly, there's fear. Fear of the other's intentions, their weapons, their proxies, and their alliances. Fear has driven both sides to extremes. Now, for the final twist, who's profiting from this war? Certainly not the civilians. Over 800,000 people have fled their homes. Food prices in Iran have doubled. Thousands in Israel are living in bunkers. Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza resemble war zones more than ever. But for arms companies like Lockheed, Raytheon, and energy giants, the outlook is bright. They're raking in billions. So can peace still be salvaged? Diplomatic lines remain open. China, Qatar, and Turkey are trying to mediate. But with tensions this high, peace is a faint hope. As we wrap up, let's leave you with two questions. Does Iran really have dangerous weapons? And who profits from this war? Regarding Iran's weapons, they enrich uranium to 60% purity, just steps from weapons grade. They also have missiles capable of striking any Israeli city with ranges over 2,000 kilometers. As for who profits, civilians aren't among them. But arms companies like Lockheed, Raytheon, and energy giants are raking in billions. We live in unpredictable times. Conflicts that seemed distant suddenly hit home. Terrorism, once a term we read about, now affects our daily lives. Pandemics remind us of our shared vulnerability. In such times, understanding global politics is no longer optional. It's essential. If you want to navigate these turbulent times better, you need a guide, and that's where The World is One comes in. Our mission is to decode global politics, economics, and conflicts, making them easy and engaging for you. We believe in the power of knowledge and its ability to connect us all. So join us on this journey. Be part of a community that values learning and understanding in these chaotic times. Together, we can make sense of the world and be better global citizens.